Our journey to Australia by boat was one of the most dangerous and unforgettable experiences of my life. It lasted 6 nights, 6 nights that felt like 99% chance of death. We were 86 people on an old fishing boat designed to carry only a small amount of people at most. It wasn't built for long journeys or open seas. We faced death more than 100 times during that trip, but I have shared some of the most powerful moments. We paid a total of $10,000 US to 3 captains, not per person, but all together. That amount was equal to a couple years' wages for them. When we reached international waters between Indonesia and Australia, we released their hands. We deeply begged for forgiveness and paid them that amount as a final reward. We felt a bit more relaxed, but not safe. From that point forward, we were completely on our own. As we continued, a Navy ship began following us. They tried different ways to stop our boat, but I believed they couldn't legally do anything in international waters. Or maybe they were unsure how to handle us. Eventually, they gave up and turned back. I knew under international law, no Navy can arrest people in international waters unless it's an emergency. They're only allowed to assist, not detain. We sailed for several more hours. Everyone was exhausted but hopeful. We were finally getting closer to Australia water. That evening, we saw a small passenger plane with an Australian flag fly above us. Twice. Then, later at night, the sea became calm, and a helicopter appeared with bright lights, scanning the boat from above. It also had the Australian flag. We felt eyes on us, but we weren't approached. The entire night passed quietly. Just before sunrise, our radar showed we were only 1 hour away from Australian territory. We hadn't heard or seen anything else. I stayed awake, watching the radar. Then suddenly, about 30 minutes before arrival, lights like fast lasers flashed from both sides of the boat. It felt like an attack. The Australian Navy had arrived at full speed and boarded us quickly. Most of us were asleep and woke up in shock and fear. Several Navy officers stood in front of us and calmly instructed everyone to sit down. They asked, "Where are you from? Where did your journey begin? How many people are on board? Is anyone sick or missing?" Then they asked if anyone spoke English. No one responded at first. My English was not strong, but I stood up and offered to translate as best as I could. They said, "Don't be scared. We're here to help. We are the Australian Navy." That moment brought a wave of emotion. Many people cried, not from fear, but from relief. We were finally safe. Just a few hours earlier, our boat had started to crack. Water was leaking in fast, and honestly, we were using buckets to throw it out as quickly as we could. It was getting worse by the minute, and we were all terrified. That sea was known for sharks and hidden underwater rocks. It truly felt like our final hours. Then we saw a massive Navy ship in the distance. They told us they'd transfer us there within a few hours. We kept asking for an immediate rescue because of the cracked boat. They were concerned too, but said the transfer would take time. Eventually, they began moving people in groups of 6 to 8 using speedboats. Before each transfer, they checked under the boat with equipment. We weren't sure why, but they were very careful. Once aboard the Navy ship, we asked, who was flying the helicopter? And what about the plane? They said, that was our team. They had been tracking us from the moment we entered international waters. They had always been nearby, watching everything, ready to act if anything went wrong. After they confirmed everyone was safely on board, they burned our old boat. On the Navy ship, they provided food, simple but good. We were allowed to take quick showers, only 2 minutes a day. If anyone stayed longer, they were politely told to leave the shower but were very serious. They told us we were heading to Christmas Island. On the way, we passed another fishing boat, but it was upside down. The Navy stopped, searched around, and even went underwater for about 30 minutes. No one was found. It was likely a missing asylum seeker boat. So many boats have disappeared in those waters. The ocean was wild. Waves rose like mountains and dropped us into deep valleys. It really felt like we were stuck in a giant washing machine. After 4 nights on the Navy ship, we saw Christmas Island. At first it looked small, but as we got closer, it appeared more peaceful and beautiful. When we arrived, we received medical checks and were taken to clean rooms with working air conditioners. The food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner was excellent. I'll never forget the kindness we received. The staff were respectful and welcoming. On Christmas Island, we had a gym, a swimming pool, English classes, and also games and social activities. It was the first time I truly felt safe. I was, and still am, grateful to Australia and its people. At that time, Julia Gillard was the Prime Minister. I stayed on Christmas Island for about 1.5 months. The detention centre was large and well maintained, but we weren't allowed to go outside. During that time, I completed my immigration interview and police clearance. Afterward, I was transferred to Leonora, a small town in Western Australia. Leonora was dry, hot land, but peaceful. The camp there was kind of similar to Christmas Island. We had games, a gym, a soccer field, and twice a week we were allowed outside for a 1-hour walk. I spent another 1.5 months in Leonora. Then finally I was released into the Australian community. Can you guess which state I ended up in? Stay tuned for the next chapter of my story.